I don't know about you, but I used to be so freaked out when I first started going to thrift stores and scanning items. I remember, my mom and I, because we've been doing this for a little over 9 years now, we would go to our local Savers. We would, back then there was no Scout IQ, there was no, real advanced Bluetooth scanners. What we used to use is what's known as a Dell Axum 51. It was a little PDA scanner. You'd have to pop this little laser on the top, and you'd have to download the database on the computer. You weren't able to go out live and whatnot, but I remember we'd go out, and we used to be so scared if people knew what we were doing. And you might be able to relate to this if you're new and you're going out to the thrift store and you're like, oh my God, everybody's looking at me. Customers are looking at me. I know people are gonna ask me, what are you doing? What are you doing with the books? Why are you doing that? Or you're fearful that someone's gonna be like, that's not right. You shouldn't be scanning books. And we used to just be so freaked out. We would go, and I'm actually I've got a brand new desk and a little walking treadmill, so I can't show you, but we would kind of like crouch over and try to hide what we were doing because we didn't want anybody to know that we were scanning books. It's pretty funny thinking back how scared we were. And the truth is, after about, 6 months or so, we grew some thick skin and we just didn't care anymore. And one of the things that I realized is they're gonna look at you. They used to do it a lot more. I think now it's more common because you go to a thrift store and there's so many people scanning. But back then, back in my day, 8, 9 years back, people didn't really know what we were doing. They didn't know, are you working for the store? Are you with the CIA? And people would ask, they would look, they would say, what are you doing? What are you up to? And my mom and I, we used to kind of come up with like these little stories, oh, we're looking at reviews, or yeah, we collect books. And then eventually it was like, you know what, I'm sick and tired of lying. Like, I don't know why I was so embarrassed or like, scared to admit like, yeah, I'm buying books to resell. I mean, it's not like we're doing anything that unethical. It's not like we're taking tons of books from the community. I mean, there's 20,000 books at this thrift store. We might be, back then we'd leave with 20 or 30 or 40 of them. It's not like we're even going after the best ones, because the best ones are typically like the most popular, mass-produced books. Those are the ones most people are looking for. So we're not taking those because they're mass-produced. They don't sell for much. But if you're going through this and you're like, oh, I'm scared, what am I going to say? Just be honest. Just tell them what you do. And a lot of times it's either going to be like, oh, that's interesting, really cool. Or how do you do that? Like, or what are you looking up items to see how much they sell for? Yeah, they'll be like, oh, okay, that's really neat. I have a nephew who does that, right? So don't be ashamed. You're actually adding value to the community, and that's what we had to convince ourselves, right? Maybe we're delusional, but I really do feel like we are helping people because we're taking books that maybe they'll never sell, or they'll get thrown away, or end up in a dump or whatever. Who knows, right? Or they'll end up on a bookshelf never read. We're bringing it to a place where people who really want that rare, unique book, we can get it in their hands. So we're changing the world. But yeah, don't be scared. I mean, you're gonna feel a little weird in the beginning. We certainly did. We would hide. We would try to not let people know. I remember one time, I've shared this story before, there was a competitor of ours. We were behind him in line, and he must not have known we were behind him because he probably wouldn't say this, but the girl at the front was like, what are you doing with all these books? He ended up getting like 40 or 50 books. And yeah, you could do that back then. There wasn't a lot of competitors. And he's like, oh, I'm building a bookshelf for myself. And my mom and I, we always laugh about it because we're like, you ain't building a bookshelf. We've seen you scanning those books to sell them. We ended up becoming friends with him down the road, but that's how it was back then. It's like everybody was trying to hide it. Now, even though there is a lot more competition now, I guess it's a good thing. People aren't really going to ask too many questions. They already know kind of what we're up to. But, there's still plenty of opportunities out there. And while thrift stores are definitely not as lucrative as they used to be, there's 30, 40, 50 other ways you can source books. So be sure to follow me for more, to learn more about different ways to source books. And there's tons of other products as well. So don't get caught just with books. I mean, DVDs are great. For anyone who wants to learn about that, I'll put a free step-by-step guide down below for how to get ungated in DVDs and CDs, because those are great products to go after. But yeah, don't be scared. Get after it. Get yourself Scout IQ or Scout League. Start scanning, right? Start making that money. And with that being said, I appreciate you all. Much love, and see you in the next one. Bye.